Hello friends, welcome back to my channel TechBlog 66. Today we are diving into one of the most magical, nostalgic, and visually unforgettable films ever made, Federico Fellini's 1973 masterpiece, Amarcord. If you love cinema that feels like a dream, like a memory, like a mixture of laughter and longing, then this film is something truly special. Amarcord is an Italian word from the Romagnol dialect meaning, I remember. And that is exactly what this film is, a cinematic act of remembering. It is Fellini looking back at his childhood in a small Italian seaside town during the 1930s, under Mussolini's fascist regime. But this is not a straightforward autobiography. It is memory transformed into spectacle, into comedy, into poetry. The story revolves around a teenage boy named Titta and the eccentric characters of his town. But don't expect a traditional plot with a beginning, middle, and end. Amarcord unfolds like the seasons of a year. It begins with spring and ends with another spring. Life moves in cycles, and we simply observe moments, funny, embarrassing, romantic, and absurd. The town itself feels like a character. Every street, every foggy evening, every festival carries a sense of theatrical exaggeration. Fellini does not aim for realism, he aims for emotional truth. These are not memories as they happened. These are memories as they feel. Let's talk about Titta, our central figure. He is at that awkward age between boyhood and adulthood. He is curious, rebellious, easily distracted, and obsessed with women. Through Titta, Fellini captures the universal chaos of adolescence, the confusion, the hormonal energy, the mixture of innocence and desire. Titta and his friends spend much of their time fantasizing, joking, and trying to understand a world that seems both exciting and overwhelming. One of the most memorable aspects of Amarcord is its gallery of unforgettable characters. There is Titta's father, Aurelio, loud, passionate, often angry, yet deeply human. His arguments at the dinner table are both hilarious and intense. There is Titta's gentle, loving mother, Miranda, who tries to hold the family together. Their family dynamic feels so real that you can almost hear the clatter of plates and the raised voices echoing in your own home. Then there is Uncle Teo, one of the most iconic characters in the film. In a surreal and comedic sequence, he climbs a tree and repeatedly shouts, "I want a woman." It is funny, absurd, and strangely touching. This moment perfectly represents Fellini's style, exaggerated, theatrical, yet emotionally honest. And we cannot forget Gradiska, the town beauty. She walks through the streets like a living fantasy. The men stare, the boys dream, and she becomes a symbol of desire and glamour. Gradiska is not just a character, she represents the allure of adulthood, of mystery, of things just out of reach. Her presence in the film adds both humor and poignancy. The film also portrays the fascist era in a very unique way. Instead of heavy political commentary, Fellini presents fascism as part of the town's everyday life, parades, speeches, rituals, and blind patriotism. There is a scene where the townspeople gather to admire Mussolini, treating him almost like a celebrity. The absurdity of these scenes highlights how easily people can be swept up in spectacle and propaganda. Fellini doesn't preach. He observes. And through humor, he reveals the strange theatricality of authoritarian power. Visually, Amarcord is stunning. The cinematography by Giuseppe Rotuno creates a world that feels both artificial and magical. Many scenes were shot on elaborate studio sets, which gives the film a dreamlike atmosphere. The fog rolling over the town, the glowing lights of the Grand Hotel, the giant ocean liner wrecks passing by at night, these images stay in your mind long after the film ends. The scene with the ocean liner wrecks is especially unforgettable. The entire town gathers in small boats in the middle of the night just to catch a glimpse of this massive, luxurious ship. When it finally appears, glowing like a floating palace, it feels almost mythical. It represents hope, fantasy, and the wider world beyond the small town. For the townspeople, it is a moment of collective wonder. For us, it is pure cinematic magic. Another powerful element of the film is Nino Rota's musical score. The music is playful, melancholic, and deeply nostalgic. It enhances every emotion, the humor, the romance, the sadness. Rota's music feels like a memory itself, gently guiding us through the seasons of the story. Amarcord balances comedy and sadness in a way that only Fellini could achieve. There are moments that make you laugh out loud, and others that quietly break your heart. One of the most emotional parts of the film is the illness and eventual death of Titta's mother. Suddenly, the playful tone shifts, and we feel the weight of loss. Life goes on, but something essential is gone. This transition from joy to sorrow mirrors real life. Memories are never purely happy or purely sad. They are always a mixture of both. The film also explores the theme of community. The town may be full of gossip, exaggeration, and ridiculous behavior, but there is also a sense of shared experience. Everyone knows everyone. Festivals, weddings, funerals, these collective events define the rhythm of life. Fellini shows us a world that feels distant from modern urban isolation. It is chaotic, noisy, imperfect, but deeply alive. One of the strengths of Amarcord is that it does not judge its characters. Even when they are foolish or misguided, Fellini treats them with affection. He understands their weaknesses because they are part of him. This warmth makes the film feel personal and intimate. From a technical perspective, the production design is extraordinary. The exaggerated sets, the stylized costumes, the carefully choreographed crowd scenes, everything feels deliberate. Fellini creates a heightened reality that feels more vivid than realism. The snow falling in winter, the peacock spreading its feathers in the cold fog, these images are poetic symbols rather than literal events. The peacock scene, in particular, is one of the most beautiful moments in the film. In the middle of a foggy winter night, a peacock suddenly opens its brilliant feathers. It is unexpected and breathtaking. It feels like a reminder that beauty can appear even in the coldest, darkest times. Amarcord won the Academy Award for Best Foreign Language Film, and it is easy to understand why. It is not just a movie, it is a celebration of memory, imagination, and cinema itself. Fellini turns his childhood into mythology. He transforms ordinary people into legends. But this film is not for everyone. If you prefer fast-paced plots and clear narratives, you might find it slow or confusing. Amarcord requires patience. It invites you to sit back and drift through its world. It is like listening to an elderly relative telling stories, sometimes exaggerated, sometimes contradictory, but always full of life. For me, what makes Amarcord truly powerful is its honesty about growing up. Adolescence is awkward. Families are complicated. Politics can be absurd. Dreams are often larger than reality. Fellini captures all of this with humor and tenderness. As a YouTube reviewer here on TechBlog 66, I always try to ask one question: is this film still relevant today? And my answer is yes. Amarcord reminds us that history is not just made of dates and events. It is made of personal memories. It reminds us that behind every political era, there are ordinary people living their daily lives, loving, arguing, dreaming. The film's cyclical structure, beginning and ending with spring, suggests that life continues. Generations change, seasons change, but human nature remains the same. We still fall in love. We still make mistakes. We still chase illusions. In conclusion, Amarcord is a masterpiece of world cinema. It is funny, nostalgic, surreal, and deeply human. Federico Fellini created a film that feels like a living memory, imperfect, exaggerated, emotional, and unforgettable. If you want to experience cinema as poetry, if you want to see how a director can turn his past into art, then Amarcord is a must-watch. Thank you for watching TechBlog 66. If you enjoyed this review, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more classic movie reviews. Let me know in the comments what you think about Fellini and which classic film I should review next. This movie is available on YouTube free.